they moved away from the initial conversation, which was that like she didn't even have that collar on to begin with. And the only reason why I showed the collar was because people were clipping other instances.
Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk yet again about Hasan Piker and the controversy surrounding him abusing his dog Kaya, because Hasan Piker has now been reduced to trying to argue that Kaya wasn't wearing a collar at all during the fateful clip that began this whole controversy. So yes, you're expected to believe that Kaya didn't wear a collar at all during that stream, despite the fact that you can very visibly see the collar on her at the time she got zapped. It's very clear that Hasan Piker is a pathological liar at this point. I think it's safe to say the only way he could ever hope to stop lying through his teeth is if his dentist were to remove them all. And of course, this wasn't the only thing revealed in this latest clip regarding Hasan Piker, as he has also began to try to defend shock collars as a concept. For what it's worth, even though I have never used shock collars, nor do I have any intention of ever using them either, I'm not going to condemn a person just because they utilize one. There is an argument to justify their use in situations where, for example, a dog might place itself in a situation where it runs the risk of being seriously injured. For example, if a dog is trying to run out to a busy street, yeah, preventing it from getting hit and killed by a car is probably a good idea, and a shock collar is justifiable in that sense. The problem is Hasan Piker shocks his dog for daring to get out of bed, as well as having admitted to tying the dog down to the bed for hours and hours on end. Such extreme measures for such minor infractions is what makes this whole situation animal abuse. It is possible, though, that what Hasan Piker is doing is try to ease his audience into the idea that yes, he did actually shock the dog. I have seen others suggest this possibility, and I am actually inclined to believe that too, that he's trying to keep as much of his audience as he can. It does appear that Hasan Piker is getting increasingly desperate, and I suspect that he knows that his lies are simply and utterly untenable. And because more and more clips of him abusing his dogs are surfacing, it's becoming one of those situations that he can't just ignore and hope it goes away, because the longer this goes on, the worse it gets for him. So there is actually a chance that the internet might force him into admitting the truth, in the hopes that at least then the problem might go away. Because let's be honest, this is probably the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the skeletons that Hasan Piker has in the closet. And let's also be brutally honest, it's probably only a matter of time before the internet finds something that even the most ardent of Hasan Piker defenders will not stand for.